The purpose of today's presentation is to provide our community with an understanding on how Patriot High School has implemented standards-based education in our instruction and grading practices. My name is Emily Utter, and I'm an assistant principal at Patriot High School, and I'll be speaking with you today regarding standards-based education. This is our academic purpose and goal. We want to increase student achievement by providing a supportive learning environment where all students can achieve success. Here is our vision and our mission. And just to highlight a few areas, we want our students engaged in 21st century learning. We want to provide students an opportunity to master content knowledge and skills and empower them to be involved in their own learning by assessing, tracking, and setting goals for their learning. Standards-based education is a systematic approach to improving instruction and student learning. This approach utilizes identified curriculum standards to guide instruction and assessment, and curriculum standards target what students should know and be able to do. Curriculum standards can be viewed as a roadmap, a guide, a framework or outline, a blueprint, a GPS, if you will, for student learning. Here are some examples of standards. The first standard is from a 9th grade English class. The second standard is from an 11th grade English class. And the third and fourth standard are from an Algebra 1 math class. Standards can be located on the Prince William County Schools webpage. There is a tab on the left-hand side for instructional programs and curriculum. From there, you can select the curricular area and obtain the curriculum standards. Also, on the Virginia Department of Education webpage, you will be able to see standards of learning and testing information. Patriot works from a backwards design. We utilize the identified curriculum standards to begin the planning process. We also indicate standards on all instructional materials and assessments. Let me provide you with some examples. Here is an Algebra 1 unit plan. You will see standards are identified, A.1, A.2b. You will also notice the student-friendly language with I can statements to empower students with their own learning. In addition, we have the standards identified more extensively at the bottom of this page. Here is an assessment where the standard is identified, 1C, which involves mapping skills. This is another example where students are assessed in geometry on various standards. With student involvement, this example is where a student writes the learning targets and they assess themselves before they take the assessment and after they take the assessment. In this example, they are checking yes, a little, or no for understanding the curriculum standards with earth science. Here they can rank on a scale of 1 to 4 under Rate It and Date It, and they can do this at various times throughout the unit. At Patriot High School, we have two grading categories, formative and summative. Formative is more of your informal processes teachers and students use to gather evidence for the purpose of improving learning. Summative is more of your formal assessments that will be utilized for making a judgment about student competence or program effectiveness. Let me provide you with some examples. So for summative assessments, we are looking at culminating or end-of-unit assessments and performances. It could also be projects, presentations, labs, capstone assessments, skill demonstrations. Formative assessment examples include more of your daily assessments, your home practice, student dialogue and conversation that occurs during class, practice problems, daily performances, and skill demonstrations. Subject areas can choose one of the following: 80-20, 90-10, or 100-0. Here's something you might see from your parent portal or the gradebook. The first example is indicating that this is a summative assessment, which is assessing standard G.3a on distance, midpoint, and slope. The second example is a formative assessment, assessing standard 1CD, mapping handout. And then another example is a formative assessment, assessing standard 9.62, and it involves a nutrition activity. A student's year grade is made up of assessing semester 1 at 45%, semester 2 at 45%, and the final exam at 10%. Patriot High School, we allow retakes of assessments. The retake policy is determined by subject area, so it can vary. Retakes are awarded full credit, so if a student scored a 70% on the first assessment, retook it and scored an 85%, they would be awarded with the 85%. Criteria for a retake include any one or a combination of completing all the formative assessments, which is the practice, analysis of current performance on the assessment, attendance at a remediation session. And the retake deadline dates include completing the retake before the next assessment is given. If you have questions, we recommend you review the course syllabus located on SchoolFusion. Contact your child's teacher and contact an administrator. We are all here to help and support our students. Go Pioneers, and thank you for listening to this presentation.